Now to that Staten Island Ferry accident. 15 people hurt last night. The ferry with a power system failure, and it simply could not stop. Passengers warned to brace over a loudspeaker, brace for a hard docking, and that's exactly what they got. Now, an Eyewitness News investigation shows that this is not the first time this particular ferry has lost power. In fact, it's the 8th time in just 4 years this ferry has had problems. The investigator's Jim Hoffer is here with his exclusive report. Jim?
Yeah, Bill, the Marquis has been in service just 4 years now, and it has a history of electrical and propulsion problems. The Department of Transportation says they amount to nothing more than the usual breaking in that occurs with all new boats. But maritime experts tell us this boat bears closer scrutiny. The city paid $40 million for the John Marquis. It's practically brand new. But since its launching in 2005, the Marquis has had at least 8 incidents in which the boat's propulsion system either partially or completely failed.
If you've had 8 in 4 years and the anticipated useful life is 30 years, what you're talking about is the prospect of 60 such failures during the useful life of the vessel. I wouldn't think anybody would be comfortable with that.
Yesterday's total loss of power adds to a growing list of engine problems that have plagued the Marquis. Coast Guard reports detail a pattern of engine shutdowns and double engine failures, including an incident in which the Marquis lost all power and had to rely on 2 tugboats to come to its rescue.
If it happens at the wrong time, you run the risk of doing serious injury or damage to your passengers, and also the risk of a collision.
This past year, the vessel has operated 93% of the time.
The head of the city's ferryboat operations insists the Marquis is reliable and that these problems are typical kinks found in all new boats. Captain, you had a complete loss of power yesterday in the boat. That's a dangerous situation.
Yes, it is. And the fact that
How is that trending in the right direction?
Well, the fact that our crew was able to deal with it.
Thank God.
And that's the whole point behind our safety management system. For anyone to think that you're not going to have a mechanical problem from time to time, it's just not the case.
Problems, yes, but a loss of complete power coupled with a history of propulsion failures, some maritime experts say that suggests much more than the typical teething issues.
It may very well indicate a serious flaw of some type in the underlying design.
One source inside boat maintenance says problems with the Marquis are, quote, chronic. The Marquis has 4 engines on it, so there is redundancy.
Yeah.
But as we saw yesterday, sometimes that's not enough with this boat.
How frightening to be told, brace for a hard docking. It's a frightening thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Jim, thank you.
They are the lifeline for thousands of commuters every day, but for years now, several Staten Island ferries have been plagued with serious mechanical problems. Well, now the city council is demanding an explanation. Eyewitness News reporter Jim Hoffer with more now on a story he first broke.
Your testimony basically laughs this off as just a business as usual.
City council members had a tough time buying into the Department of Transportation's explanation for why their 3 ferry boats put into service in 2006 still keep breaking down.
The fact of the matter is, new ships are subject to these types of problems, and that's just, it is a fact of life, and I wish I could change it.
Constituents won't accept the fact that this is a break-in period. It's more like a breakdown period for them, and that's a problem.
Today's hearings, called for after last July's power failure on the Marquis, caused the boat to slam into the dock, injuring 15 people. Our investigation revealed that the boat had at least 8 previous incidents.
No one is satisfied with that, and we're working very hard to see that these issues are addressed.
In 2007, an Eyewitness News investigation first reported how power failures plagued the 3 $120 million ferry boats. Our report detailed how one of the new boats had been out of service nearly 40% of the time. Back then, we were told the breakdowns were typical for new boats. Now, power problems have dry docked the Marquis, out of service since the July accident, 10 weeks and counting. At the hearing today, the explanation sounded familiar.
You look at the history of the Staten Island Ferry, every class of ferry that's been brought into service has gone through issues like this.
It just seems odd that $120 million worth of ferries seem to be breaking down as often as they are.
Now, if you have a tip about this or any other issue you'd like investigated, please give our tip line a call at 877-TIP-NEWS. You may also email us at the.investigators@abc.com. Jim Hoffer, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.